It's been a long time since I made one of these. Not really a long time, a couple of weeks, maybe. And since that time, there have been some changes made to my life. For one, I haven't smoked. Secondly, my wife has left. Well, she hasn't left me. She's going to stay with her parents until the baby is born, and for a couple of months afterwards, which I think is very decent. She needs the help of another woman who's been through a similar experience in her life, and being with me, I would like to be of help, but there's a kind of help that I imagine another woman can afford that I am not able to give her. Yeah, so now I'm home all alone. And every young man always imagines a time they're going to have their house all to themselves, and how fun it's going to be, all the experiences they'll have, all the things they'd like to do. And when that moment comes, the first thing that hits me is just how fucking lonely I am. So I turn back to old habits. You wonder why people become addicted. I remember the day, well, actually 2 nights before my wife left, I was very angry. Well, actually, it's an interesting story. First of all, 3 nights prior to my wife leaving, I decided for the first time to go out and meditate in the park. It was a night. I don't usually meditate at night outside. But I said, hey, fuck it, let me just go and see what it's like. So I went and sat on the grass in the open park for 30 minutes just to see what will happen. And I had this feeling of intense ecstasy after like 30 minutes of meditation. And it was so much joy. I remember walking back home and I couldn't help but just giggle and laugh. It was wonderful. And when I got home, my wife, she thought I took drugs. That's what she thought. She thought I had taken drugs. I was just so excited, uber excited. And this feeling was just wave after wave of uncontrollable ecstasy. I was just sitting down on my couch and just closing my eyes and just letting this feel swarm over me. It was amazing, and I just was just filled with laughter and joy and happiness. It wasn't peace. It wasn't really peace. It was just this intense feeling of happiness. And I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna make this a habit. If meditating outside allows me to experience such things, I'm just gonna keep doing that. However, the second time I did it was 2 days before my wife left me. And on that second day, there was no happiness, there was no joy, there was no peace. It was intense sadness. And I remember crying. I just fucking cried. It started off very simple. Just the beginning of the session was nothing more than just what felt to be like heart palpitations. Like the kind of feeling you get in your chest when you're kind of nervous about something. That feeling was really intense in the beginning. And I decided, this is going to be the focus on meditation instead of focusing on my breath or focusing on my bodily sensations. I'm just going to focus on that feeling in my chest. So I focused on it. And towards the end of the session, I just realized I'm so fucking sad. I'm sad. Extremely sad. And walking back home, I remember just breaking down and crying. I just cried. And when I got home, I tried to start a conversation with my wife, telling her that I'm going to really miss her. But that's all I said. I'm really going to miss you. There's nothing more I could say. I don't know why. I knew what I wanted to say. I knew what I had to say. But when I tried to say it, I couldn't say it. It's always, oh, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you, babe. I'm going to miss you, babe. I'm going to miss you, sweet pussy. No, of course I didn't say that, but I just said I want to miss you. This is Japanese alcohol, shochu. It's really good stuff. So that's all I could say, and I realized, why can't I say anything else? So I just sat on my couch with this intense misery inside of me, unable to say what I need to say. After a while, I realized the problem was I'm just not as open as I thought I was. So I went out and bought alcohol, and after a can of liquor, I was open enough. And I came home and I told my wife everything I needed to say. I told her how much she has changed my life, how beautiful my life is because of her, how much every day is peace at home just because of her. Like, here's the thing about my relationship. Well, me and my wife. Have you ever been hungry? I don't know. I don't know about many of you Westerners, but for those who've ever been truly hungry, you know, when you haven't had a meal in a long fucking time, whether it's by choice or by design, it doesn't matter. When you haven't had a meal in a fucking long time, and you just have this pit in your stomach, this abyss that needs to be filled, and you finally get whatever it is in front of you, whether it's a bag of crisps, whether it's a sandwich, whether it's just some rice, you get something in front of you, and that's the first bite feels so exciting. You're so happy with that first bite, not because you're full or satisfied, just because there's food in your mouth. But after a while, you feel satisfied. And the difference between that first bite and being satisfied is ecstasy and peace. And that's what my life with my wife every day is at home. Coming back home from work was never exciting. It wasn't like, fuck yeah, I'm done with work, I'm gonna go home and see my wife. It was like, my wife is there. Peace. Just knowing that she's gonna be there, I'm gonna see her, we're gonna talk. And sometimes we don't even talk. Sometimes we just sit in silence next to each other and watch TV. But just with her being there, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is wonderful. That is peace. What more can any human being ask for? It's funny that when guys get married, they always complain about how miserable they are. You know, like, fuck, I don't no longer have any freedom, or I can go and drink with my buddies. Bitch, please. Your drinking buddies are always gonna be there. But most of your drinking buddies won't help you out of a rut. Most of your drinking buddies won't listen to you when you say, nigga, I'm fucking lonely. But your wife, someone who loves you, all your shit, all your pretense, all your idiocy, everything miserable about you, everything shitty about you, the person who knows the smell of your farts, and also has sex with you. What's better than that? What's better than that in this life? Nothing is better than that, that's what. I mean, this woman isn't my mother. She's not my mother. She's a person who just accepts me as I am. Completely. I don't have to pretend to be anything around her. With other people, I do have to pretend. I always have to pretend. I'm always putting on a mask. I'm the cool and composed guy. I'm the smart guy. I'm the funny guy. I'm the guy that doesn't give a fuck. With this guy, I'm the guy who's always down to have fun. With that guy, I'm the guy who talks politics. With that guy, I'm the guy who talks philosophy. With that other guy, I'm the guy that talks working out. But with my wife, I'm everything. I'm everything. With my wife, I'm God, believe it or not. With my wife, I have reason to be scared. With my wife, I have reason to be strong. With my wife, I can be interested in philosophy and also interested in fashion. With my wife, I can be interested in her makeup And I can ask her to try. I can ask her, can I do your makeup on myself? Yeah, sure. Because I don't have to be a guy in front of my wife. I'm just a person, just a human being. And with love, you move through phase one, which is my experience, deep, intense romanticism. And that feels good. That's when you just want to be together and just have sex and just hold hands. And for me, once I moved away from that, the next thing that happened to me was I entered this level. My wife and I entered this level where it was just like a kind of distrust with each other because that thing was gone. You know, we didn't really understand why that thing was gone. Like what happened? What happened? We always really, really loved being with each other, but now all of a sudden that thing that made us tell each other all the time that I love you was now gone. But once we passed this phase, the next phase that came in was a phase whereby we didn't need romanticism to be in love. We were just in love. We were deeply in love. But there was no romanticism. Right now, that's where we are right now, whereby I don't love her because she loves me. I don't love her because she gives me sex. I don't love her for any of these reasons. I don't know why I love her. And that's good enough. Just being in her presence is good enough. Just knowing that she exists is good enough to some degree. Whereby she can say almost anything to me. And I will get pissed off, of course, and I would also piss her off many times. But that anger that we can make each other feel, that happiness we can make each other feel, is nothing compared to the intensity of both of our existences being combined in love. I don't know if this makes sense. I hope it does. Because I love her in a way that one would claim only to be able to love themselves in. I know my shit, right? Because I'm me. I know my shit. But I wouldn't willingly spite myself. I mean, I do. I mean, of course, I drink alcohol, I smoke. But even with such things, I'm doing those things to a degree because they make me happy, or they make me relax in some situations. But despite all of these things, I still care about myself very deeply. Now, this level of caring I have for myself is the same level of caring I will share for my wife. I have for my wife. And I also hope she has the same amount of care for me, which I know she does. I mean, even I see her, the way she behaves, and the way she talks to me, the way she treats me, I will assume that she cares about me to a similar degree. Maybe even more. Love is tricky. It makes me lonely sometimes, just knowing that there's someone out there who loves me this much. But I can't see them right now. I mean, I can video call them. It's not the same thing. I just want her to be here, to be with me. And when she was leaving, I remember the entire journey to the airport, I was unable to just tell her that I miss her. I'm gonna miss her, and I feel so sad. I was very quiet and very stoic the entire time until she had to go through the gates. And I hugged her, and I didn't want to let go of her, you know? I didn't want to let go. What makes guys like this? What makes us like this, whereby we can't even express such simple pains? Like, I'm going to miss you. It's so hard for me to tell my wife I'm going to miss her. Why? I would have liked to cry, honestly, but it's like culture and society has made it impossible for me to want to cry in public. But I feel like crying. I really feel like crying. But I don't cry. Isn't that fucked up? That's so fucked up, man. That's so totally fucked up. Because I just want to cry. It would be so much easier if I could too. My life would be so much better. I talked to my friend about this. Before I left Kenya, I had a friend. I mean, he's still my friend. He's still a very close friend. still talk on the phone weekly at least. And he told me that when I told him I was going to leave Kenya and come and work in Japan, he was very angry at me, but he couldn't express it. He actually told me this when I told him how angry I was at my wife leaving. And he told me it took him 3 years, actually not even more than 3 years, 4 years maybe, for him to express that thing to me. And he did it on the phone. I mean, when man feels sad, it expresses itself as anger. What's sad than that? We were all once little boys who cried when mom left them. But the fucked up thing is, like, when a boy cries, no one comforts the boy. People tell him, don't cry, you're a man. Bitch, I want to fucking cry. I feel like crying, and I think crying is actually better for me than being tough and holding it in. I don't want to hold this shit in. If I have a son and he cries because he misses someone, I'll tell him, keep crying until you feel better. Just let it all out. Just cry, I'm here for you. Just cry if you need to cry. I won't tell my son, you're a man, don't cry. Fucking cry. Cry. Let it all out. And when you're done, I'll be here. I'll be here waiting. And even if you want me to be with you while you're crying, I'm going to be there with you. Because no one did that for me. I was told to be a man. And now look at me. I can't tell the person I love more than anything else in the world that I'm going to miss you. That's so fucked up. It's totally fucked up. It's pure evil. I can't tell my own wife I'm going to miss her. But I will, huh? I'm going to miss her terribly. And now I'm here in this apartment. Big apartment, all alone. With nothing and no one but my lonesome. And I am lonely. And loneliness builds up in your stomach like hunger. Funny thing, it is funny. Being lonely actually feels like being hungry. Huh. I never noticed that before. Which explains why I've been eating so much since my wife left. I'm just eating and eating and eating. Constantly just eating. I don't want to stop eating. Jeez, I'm so fucking lonely, man. And Japan is also a strange country whereby neighbors don't talk to each other that much. It's always the awkward good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's really awkward. It's always super awkward. Especially in this place where I'm the only guy who looks like me in this entire area. So it gets really weird when I say hello. I see people rush into their doors, rush through their doors. They just like fuck. They're trying to put in their key card. Fuck. I need to get in. So I don't think it's because they're scared. Maybe they feel awkward about trying to communicate, talk with me. Because maybe they assume I can speak Japanese. I don't know. I'm not that good either. I wasn't born here or anything. But still, just a nice hello. I remember when we first moved here, we brought some. Usually in Japan, culture dictates. Well, not modern culture. It's not a culture. It's kind of a dying cultural artifact, whereby when you move into a new apartment building, you give your neighbors a small gift, telling them, "Hello, I'm going to be your new guests. I really appreciate having you as my neighbors." Just telling them thank you. I don't know what the thank you is for, but to show them that you appreciate that they are your neighbors. So I told my wife, coming from Osaka, where people don't do that, I thought, we're moving to the countryside. When we get into a new apartment, let's do that with both our neighbors. So we bought this souvenirs from Osaka, and we came here and we gave it to our neighbor. And we thought, okay, it's a good start. Now we can actually talk with each other and say, hey, hello, how are your kids? How was your day at work? But we gave them this thing and they never talked to us again. And it wasn't something weird we gave them, something very basic like crisps, flavored with an Osaka style, which you wouldn't find here, it's only in Osaka. So we gave them a bunch of those because they have kids. And yeah, we never saw them again. They just kept ignoring us, just the awkward hello. Like, jeez, dude, what's up? Is that it? Is that it, really? I guess that's it. I guess that is it. It's really fucked up. It's really, really fucked up. I can't even talk to my neighbors. But now, maybe it's better in this case because right now, my neighbors living right behind this wall are 3 Vietnamese or Thai girls. I don't know what they are, either Vietnamese or Thai. And if I start to get to know them in this lonely period, I think it will make my wife jealous. So maybe it's better I don't really interact with them to such a degree. But still, jeez, fuck me, I'm lonely. Super lonely. I hope one day I can overcome this loneliness. I don't know what it will take to overcome this loneliness, but I really hope that I do. This pain isn't worth it. This hunger isn't worth it. And now I'm getting a message from my wife. I really miss her. She's the most beautiful thing I have in my life. I don't even have her. She's the most beautiful thing to share its existence with me. She's gorgeous. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. She's carrying our child. A daughter. And I hope my daughter is just half as beautiful as her. And half as funny as well. I miss her so much. I'm terribly, terribly lonely. I guess that's it, huh? That's it. Next time I'll come up to you with something more happy and joyous. But I thank you for listening. Bye bye.